In the past weeks, we have passed 1,000 subscribers on the channel. And first of all, I want to say thank you. I made a very sappy text post a few weeks back, probably like one or two, talking about the experience to get here and the origin story of Asuka TV, essentially. And to commemorate that, I asked my subscribers if they wanted a top 10 anime list, a top 10 video game list, or a top 10, I think it was movie list or something. Let me eat my cough drop. And the overwhelming majority of people wanted the video game list, so here we are. And I was debating on doing a top 20 list. I was like, you know what, I'll treat the audience. Top 20 list. Now we're at top 50. And I just found and discovered that I had so many different games that I just needed to talk about. Like, I'm going through all the games that like I love and played as a kid, played recently and all that stuff, and I'm like, I can't not talking about this game. And it evolved into a top 50 list. But do not worry, because I know top 50, it's like, okay, what does this mean then? There's a lot of games. It's like nothing special. This list, though, is in order. I ranked 1 through 50 of my favorite games, each one going up better than the last, in my mind. And I do also want to point out that this is not the top best games ever made list. I don't think objective quality exists, to be quite honest. Even if I title some of my videos the best of, it's not actually the best. This is my top 50 favorites. You're going to see a lot of weird ones on here, for sure. And what I plan to do is I'm going to tell like a story with each one. And I'm going to say why it's on here. And I think it'll be a fun time. Before we get to number 50, though, which is obviously Pokemon Go, which this does include games of all sorts, even mobile games. We're going to go to honorable mentions. Now, I have a few of these. And I want to go through each one very quickly. So, Grim Fandango is the hardest game I have ever played in my entire life. I don't really like puzzle games that much, but this one is like the best example of that, but also the hardest. It would probably be higher, but I have not beaten it, so we're leaving it here for now. Spyro, great platformer, don't remember too much of it. GTA 5, never played the campaign, multiplayer is fun. Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk. I just played this on my second channel, link in the description, of course. This could be higher, but I literally just played it. I need time to think on this, and I imagine the sequel is going to be even higher than the original, but I'm not sure yet. But I do think the original gets overlooked in the sphere that it is talked about. And I think it's a great game. So definitely check out the gameplay of that on the second channel. Nier Replicant, I have played like an hour of that. I know it's probably going to be top 5 when I play it. I love the Nier series, no spoilers, but I am in love with it. And I just haven't got around to playing this one yet, for whatever reason. Godzilla Unleashed. This is a Godzilla fighting game that I had in the GameCube. I don't really remember it that well, but like, just looking back on the excitement of all like the different characters. I think it's what I love about like fighting games is like there's so many different characters, you know? And it's like so exciting seeing the character design and like, you know, when you're a kid, there's that like euphoric feeling of that, like that mystery of a new character. And Godzilla Unleashed, to some degree, made me feel like that. And me and my brother used to play it all the time. Nintendogs, come on, it's Nintendogs. This one is a random PC Sonic game. I have tried for years to find this game. I have some ethereal memory of playing this game where it's very shitty 3D graphics, and you're just walking around a green area, and there's hills. And I don't remember there being any objective. You just walk around as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles and just collect coins that are just randomly there, but they don't do anything. Now, like, this could be, like, some level of, like, a Sonic game that I just got stuck on. I don't know. But it's all I remember from this game. And I played it in, like, the very early 2000s. Like, I think it's a 90s game. Like, it's probably one of the first 3D Sonic games. I imagine it might not even be an official game. I just don't know. But I'm leaving it honorable mentions. Someone, please, for the love of God, find this game for me. I need to play this game. I miss it, and I want to know what it is. Temple Run and Doodle Jump, absolute classics of the mobile game scene. I get really good at these games. I play these games a lot. So, Sims 4. I haven't actually played Sims 4 in my entire life. However, I watch my girlfriend play it all the time. She is obsessed. And that is always a fun time. And there's some games on here, like even higher up, that like I don't really like playing the game. I like watching the game. That like a family member or like a girlfriend or whatever like plays in front of me. I just watch them. Sims 4 is definitely one of those. So Rip Dale. And yeah, Machine Gun arcade game. I don't know the name of this one. It is in Dave and Buster's. There's like a million iterations of it. It's like the one where you have the machine gun and you have like two people in like the booth and you're just like shooting things. Very basic. But like the original one is in like a jungle. And me and my brother have been in that game so many times. And every single time we see it, any iteration of it, we're playing it. I almost put Time Crisis on here too, but it just barely made the cut. And then Cats. As I was assembling this list, I was reminded of Cats. And the only thing I remember of this game is the theme song. And I didn't even know the name of the game. I had to have a friend help me out trying to find what that was. I just remember every single word of the theme song. I am just a kid and hardly fit, like that song. Like, I don't know if anyone else has this like bizarre memory of just that song, but like that's all I remember. But it's just like a foundational memory for me that it's making the list, which is going to be a common theme for all of these. So let's get to the actual list now. Pokemon Go. Also, I hope you don't mind the presentation of the list. This is supposed to be like a fun, unscripted thing where I'm just talking about the games, and I feel like if I scripted it out or, put like actual like gameplay footage of all these games, like it's 50 games, that would take forever. And I just don't think it would have like the same organic, like fun feeling to it, Like I just want this to be like a connecting to you guys moment. Just talk about all these different games that I love. So I think this format was like very bare bones, but I think it was definitely the way to go. So hope you don't mind it. Pokemon Go. I have a lot of bad memories with this game. But I put it on here because me and my mom used to play it like all the time. I remember we were driving around, like we went to the mall at like 3 a.m. We would just go to the mall parking lot and just like play Pokemon Go. And I remember the security guard, like the mall security, and their whole ass vehicle just came over and just like kicked us off the property. And just like things like that. Like we used to go like everywhere and just like catch Pokemon. But I think the game became kind of a detriment for me because it was like I could never go anywhere without playing. Like, I figured that if I was like, okay, if I'm driving, like, I might as well throw the game on, get those miles in. Or if I'm, like, hanging out with friends, like, there might be a rare Pokemon, nearby. Like, let's get on that, Let me turn my volume down. I was like, I need to catch Pokemon. I can't just not catch Pokemon right now. Like, I could have, like, a legendary waiting for me, And it became this thing where, like, every second I was out, I was playing Pokemon Go. And it became like a detriment to my life. So, it's only a 50 right now, but Ori and the Blind Forest. I have not beaten this game, but the movement, the fluidity of the movement, and like the sheer like ways that you can platform in this game is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's probably my favorite 2D platformer. Which is pretty low. I mean, Fortnite's pretty low. I've played a lot of games though, but yeah, I haven't been in it yet. But once I do, I imagine it'll go probably in the 30s, something like that. Minecraft. I have a lot of great memories with Minecraft. I used to go home every day in 8th grade and go on Xbox 360, and we were playing Minecraft every day. I know my brother was like so good at building and I was like so bad at it, but like that was fine, My two cousins, we would all play and like just build some shit. And like my brother and all my friends, like we would play and like build skyscrapers, and you just build an entire town and like have jobs and like role play and like shit like that. There's a lot of fun times. But then I went back to try to play it a few times, and like I can't play it anymore. I just get so bored, you know? Like I just don't think I have the attention span at this point to play Minecraft, which is, I mean, it's kind of sad, but I don't know. I just can't do it. Maybe my brain is riddled with attention like deficit stuff, but like I don't know. I just can't play this game anymore. And, okay, this game, this game. Let me get a drink before I talk about this game. This is one of my favorite stories on this list, so I'm gonna quickly go by that. This is called The House of Silence. You have not heard of this game. You haven't. I can almost guarantee you of that. And I'm going to read you dramatically well, this is, okay, first of all, this is a visual novel on your phone. Like, you know, I had it on my Android. And it's like, you're in a haunted house. And you choose to spend time with, like, one of three girls. And I only downloaded the game because I'm like, well, I like Doki Doki Literature Club. This was, like, probably like a year after I played it. I'm like, I want to play another visual novel. But I was camping, and I knew I wouldn't have service. So I needed a game that I could play without service. So I'm like, oh, I'll get some, like, free visual novels. It was a free game. So I downloaded this one. It was, like, the first one that popped up. And clearly you have a great choosing of the three girls here. You have the gentle exchange student, whose quiet intelligence has always proven to be an asset? Question mark. Or your loud and vibrant childhood friend who knows you the best? Question mark. Or will you choose the new girl, the quiet one, who is braver than she seems? I know. There's a lot of character development in this series. Truly. But no, it's the shittiest game I've like ever played, like ever. And to further show that, I want to show what the male sprites look like. Because it's not just females in the game. Like, you have some guys in your group. You're like a college or high school or whatever. This is the guy. Yeah. He is... It's not even a sprite. It's literally a shadow. This is the amount of effort you can expect from the masterpiece that is The House of Silence. This is it. And why this game is on here is I have such a great and terrible memory with it. Because when I was at camp, as I said, I was playing this game. And it was a free game. But there's no ads on it. So I'm like, okay, how do they make money? And how they make money is, first of all, to progress the story, you need story tickets. To get story tickets, you need to spend money. Right? And that's one thing. That alone is bad. But you get like choices, like dialogue options, and you could choose like the one of the three girls or whatever. But there's also a chance that you don't get any of them. And when you're having like a dialogue option, there is a grayed out section, like an answer to a question, or there's like a lighted up one. And very clearly the one that is lit up is the right answer. If you want like to get actually like one of the actual endings. To be able to pick that option, you need to pay money. You need to pay money to pick one of those options. And I ended up spending probably like $80 on this goddamn visual novel. $80. And I remember, because you needed service too. Not to play the game, but to buy the stuff. You needed to, go to the Google Play Store. I was in the middle of a lake, canoeing. And I went to the dead center of the lake because that's where they had service. So I want you to imagine this. I am in the center of this lake on my phone, just drifting along, playing The House of Silence, like frantically trying to buy story tickets and like prompt options or points or whatever to be able to choose one of these three shitty waifus. I spent $80 in the middle of goddamn lake to do that. And that to me, like, that's what makes a favorite game to me, is you can like look back at a memory like that. Like that's just hilarious to me. So it is number 47 on this list. Now, number 46, Metroid Prime 2. Not much to say here. I played on the GameCube. Have some good memories playing multiplayer. It's kind of about it, but it's I think it's one of the better first-person shooters out there. So I definitely put it on here, and I'm very excited for Metroid Prime 4. Shrek Racing. Now, you've heard of Mario Kart Racing. I think there's a Crash Bandicoot Racing. But have you played Shrek Racing? Because I will say, it is a classic. And if you've played Shrek Racing, you know what I'm talking about. You have mirror mode. You have... Screw Mario Kart. Like, yeah, the karts are sometimes cool, but Shrek Racing, like, you can ride a dragon. I think Shrek rides like a grass ogre monster. Can you top that with Mario? I don't think so. You also have the ability to race as Shrek. So, it's Shrek Racing. Like, what more can I really say about Shrek Racing? Number 45. Now this one, I put a picture here to further emphasize my point. Burger King Sneak Game. First of all, Burger King Racing almost made this list, but it was edged out. It was edged out. But Sneak King is different. I have an ethereal, I call it an ethereal memory with this game. And when I was a kid, I was so scared of this game. If you haven't played it, you go around as the Burger King mascot guy, like, you know, the king right there, and you like feed people Whoppers. I'm pretty sure you like hide. You literally hide, sneak up on people, Sneak King, and you feed them Whoppers, which was such a scary concept to me. But like, just some of the graphics or like this design right here, like this is the title screen. This has lived in my memory for as long as I can remember. Like, when I say this is one of my first memories that, like, I can vividly remember, like, this is a foundational memory for me. Like, the primal fear of the Burger King mascot. Like, I don't even think I played the game that much because I was just so scared of it. But, like, even so, like, it lives in my head rent-free 24/7. Like, there's days still where I'm just doing anything random and I just think, like, the Burger King mascot. I think of Sneak King. I think of those Whoppers. And it's like, it's one of the most horrific games I've ever played. Like, it is a top 10 horror game for me. Top 5. Top 5 probably. And I think it deserves this spot. Like, it's kind of a meme that it's here. Like, I even put it in the thumbnail because I thought it was funny. But, like, it's also not. Like, I'm 100% serious. Because these are my top 50 favorite games. Like, the games that defined me. And I can think of no better example than something that defined me in my, like, aesthetic, like, sense. Or, like, even, like, my, like, sense of, like, horror games or horror media. Like, Sneak King defined that for me in a way. And, like, I have to thank this Burger King. This lovely man. I have to thank him for that. So, that's number 44. Sneak King. Go play it. I had it on the 360, I think. Now, I included this last minute. I'm not even sure which Dynasty Warriors this is, but I have vivid memories of playing this with an old best friend. I haven't talked to him in, like, 12 years or something. But when we were kids, I would go over his house that had this smell of ferrets, because he had 2 ferrets. And we would just play Dynasty Warriors. And at the time, I didn't know it was Dynasty Warriors. I only found out later on that it was Dynasty Warriors. But that is, you know, doing that so many times, like going over there so many times, and just mowing down enemies, like, mindlessly. Just talking, you know, just, like, hanging out. Those are some very early video game memories for me. So, I knew I had to include it somewhere. We put it at 43, though. Balloon Tower Defense. I don't need to say more. I just don't need to say more. I mean, if you know, you know. Which you should know. The Teen Titans GameCube game. This is also a last-minute addition. I honestly don't remember too much about this game. I know I love it. I do know that. And like I think you can forget like everything about something, but still know that you love it. And a lot of these games are kind of like that. Like if I went back and played Teen Titans the game, would I still love it? I don't know. I don't know. Like I've gone back to play some of these games and I kind of hated them, and some of them I actually liked more. But like, does that really matter? Because these are memories for me, is what they are. You know, like we experience reality through our memories. So I don't think it really matters if I went back and played this and I didn't like it that much. I think what's most important, what I'm gonna remember when I'm 80 years old, is that I loved this goddamn game. Not the gameplay, not anything else, just me, my brother, like 10-inch TV, GameCube playing Teen Titans. That's what I'm going to remember. So, it's number 41. A lot of these games sound really kind of stupid or like just very bizarre. I promise they're not all like this. Like once you get further up, there's like more well-known or more like games I consider like really good gameplay wise, but the Godzilla game on my mom's flip phone. We were at the Science Museum in the city I live in. I was in it was a Cub Scout thing. We were sleeping over. And I was probably like 8 at the time. And I remember we were sleeping in the very upstairs of the Science Museum. A place I used to have nightmares about, but it was like even further up in my nightmares. It was really weird. But it was like the space room, right? It was super dark. Or maybe it was the dinosaur room. It was one of those two. But I remember she told me, she gave me her like old ass flip phone. And she's like, "Don't buy this game. Just don't buy it." I proceeded to buy it right away. And it was like, it's literally on a flip phone. It is a Godzilla game on a flip phone. And you just like press the keys and you like go down like a straight line, like attack enemies as Godzilla. I think buildings or something like that. That's literally it. Like it's another game like I barely remember, but it's such a foundational memory for me that I just have to include it on this. Like it's not even a foundational video game memory. It's just like memory in general, you know? So definitely, it just had to make the list. I couldn't tell you what it's called. I don't think anyone could tell you what it's called. But god damn it, made the list. Mario Kart Wii. This is obviously a more of a real one. I was choosing between Mario Kart Double Dash, Mario Kart DS, and Mario Kart Wii. And I ultimately settled on Mario Kart Wii. And partly that's because you can use the Wii controller with the wheel. I always did that. I never like used it like a regular controller. I just thought it made it more fun, like more realistic. But it's mainly because of Coconut Mall. Me and my brother used to play at Coconut Mall the level as our Miis. I remember I was Tsunade from Naruto. And I forgot what he was. And we would like, I guess it was kind of like role play. We would literally just like drive around the mall and like pretend we were shopping as I did so as Tsunade from Naruto. And we just drive around, like just not even like race. Like we do that for like 40 minutes, you know? And I was probably like, you know, like 7 or 8 once again. Maybe even like 10. I don't even think I was that young when we were doing this stuff, you know? But just like, I think that's what's most important for me when it comes to games. That sense of imagination, you know, and at this time, that childlike wonder, you know, like you could literally just go around Coconut Mall pretending to be Tsunade and like just shopping, you know? Like, obviously, I can't do that anymore. So I cherish those memories even more of a time I was able to do that. And I think that's important to remember. So Mario Kart Wii, because of that, and also the game itself, obviously, edged out the other two. So number 38, Portal 2. I thought this would actually be higher. I used to consider it a top 10 game before I actually, like not even that long ago, before I, like, actually made this list. Like, oh yeah, Portal 2, top 10. Come on, it's Portal 2, you know? No, it's number 38. And I think it's because I've never actually played the story mode. I've only played the multiplayer with my brother once again on the 360. Yeah, 360. And I just love the physics. I love the concept of the game itself. And this is a game I'm definitely going to go back to, and it's going to be higher. I have almost no doubt it's going to end up higher. But for right now, I think we got to leave it at 38 for now. Madden 12. I kind of hesitate to put this on here because I love Madden 12, but I just hate it. I remember I got so mad playing this game once that I had like a box of strawberries and I had a white wall. I was probably like 11 at the time, something like that. And I get very frustrated playing video games a lot of the time, but Madden 12's always been the worst. Like Madden in general has always been the worst, especially nowadays. But I had these strawberries. I just got so mad. I just threw them against the wall, and it dyed my entire wall red for like a year. And like that's my memory of Madden 12. Like aside from that, like obviously I do think it's a fun game. Madden 17 could have made like the list here too, but like I just remember Madden 12 the most. And I think it's the only sports game on here actually. I don't really play that many sports games, so I felt like the sports game needed to make some kind of representation here. So I'm cheating a little. This is obviously 2 games, but I couldn't choose. These games in my mind are basically the same. Lego Indiana Jones. I remember me and my brother were able to like break the game on accident, and it gave us infinite money. I don't know if that's like a cheat code you can do or whatever. We just did it by accident. I don't know, but we broke the game, had infinite money, and we just like customized and bought like everything, like every character, everything. Lego Batman, even more so. Just playing as the different characters is so fun to me. It's kind of like the Godzilla Unleashed thing, and like the wonderment of like which different characters you can be. In the Lego games in general are just so funny, so phenomenal. Lego Star Wars is up way higher in this list, don't worry. But these two both had to make the list, and yeah, I had a crush on Harley Quinn in the game. Don't talk about it. Terminator 3. I don't think this is actually what it's called. I think it's like Rise of the Machines or something. I'm not really sure. I remember my dad bought us this game when we were little, and we always loved the Terminator series, 1, 2, 3, nothing past that, but 1, 2, and 3. And I remember like riding on the motorcycle. That's like basically all I remember, and like fighting robots and obviously too. And I thought this would actually be higher up, but like it's just one of those games where like it is super important to you. Like, it reestablishes the connection you have to like, my father, my brother, like, things like that. But, like, I also, like, couldn't justifiably put it higher than this. So I don't really have too much to say on Terminator 3. Super Mario Sunshine, I thought it'd be higher on this, too. Sadly, it is not. I want to go back and play this one. It's Mario. It's Super Mario Sunshine. Flood is still one of my favorite video game characters of all time. It's a classic. Nothing else to say there, you know? Wii Music absolutely slept on game. So many great songs. There's the September song. There's another song that I'm forgetting. Like I remember I used to play like the flute in the game. I just like the Wii controller, and it's like one of my favorite rhythm games. I love this game, and like I forgot about it for so long. And the good thing about making a list like this is like you have to remember. Like I went through my old games and I saw Wii Music. I'm like, oh yeah, that's on the list. Like that's a definite for the list. So number 33. Speaking of rhythm games, I actually forgot about this one till today when I had to remake the list. Guitar Hero 3 and 5. Couldn't choose between the two. I remember I played Guitar Hero 3, the story mode in one night with my friend. The one I actually played. I think it was the friend that I played Dynasty Warriors with, I'm pretty sure. And we got all the way through, and then I got stuck on, I think Helicopter was the song, and haven't beaten it since. Guitar Hero 5, I beat the entire campaign with my brother. He sang, I think, because he just couldn't play the guitar. And, like, I remember I can only play medium on these games because I have, like, really small hands. And I can't move my hand to reach the orange. So I can do the speed, I can't do the orange. Like, it's literally impossible for me. So, Shrek Super Slam. You've heard of Shrek Racing. You've heard of games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Melee, Brawl. but have you heard of Shrek Super Slam? This game, I grew up with Melee. A lot of us did. But right besides Melee for me at the time, Shrek Super Slam. Now, I'm not sure why they decided to make a Smash clone, like an actual fighting game with the Shrek characters. I guess you could say the same thing about Shrek Racing anyway. But I'm glad they did. I am sincerely glad that they did. Because the amount of memories I have in this game playing story mode, the multiplayer, is just amazing. I have a friend that I was just talking to like 2 hours ago who reminded me of a story when he was a kid, he broke his TV playing this game. It was the only game he has ever broken a TV to. He put his knee through it because of Shrek Super Slam. If you have not played Shrek Super Slam, you have not lived. And I recommend to you that you go right now, buy that GameCube, that PS2, whatever it's on, maybe Xbox, I don't know. You buy one of those, and you buy Shrek Super Slam. I don't know how much it goes for. I don't know. It could go for $1,000. I don't know. I know I have my copy of it. I can play it anytime. I have my GameCube. But you know what? I'd still pay $1,000 for it. If I had $1,000, I'm paying it for Shrek Super Slam. Because you don't know what you're missing until you play. It is that good of a game. The Friar Fat Boy level, I'm pretty sure you can knock down the statue. Things like that. Playing as Gingy, Puss in Boots fighting Gingy in, like, I think the first level. It doesn't get better than that. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. And there's going to be another Shrek game on this list. I love Shrek. And I'm going to talk about that more when we get there. It's going to be higher up, though. Number 30. Opus Rocket of Whispers. I'm assuming most people have not heard of this game. It is a mobile game. And it's a game that I think I want to make an individual video on. And I really want to shine a light on this game. It's a very short game, and it's like a kind of like a searching game. Like, the actual gameplay itself is like you just go around like a deserted place. Like, it's like an apocalypse kind of thing. And you just look for stuff, right? And it's technically a sequel. I have played like the one before it, but like I haven't beaten it yet. It probably would have made the list if I had. I actually lost all my save data when I was in London playing it on the train to go to Stratford. Very depressing. But this game was one of the ones I played at camp. So we used to go like summer camp. Not summer camp, not for like Boy Scouts, but for like just my family used to go camping like a few years back, like every year. This was one of the games I played. And it's just the story, and there's only 2 characters, but the emotion I got from them and the relationship and everything like that. I don't know. It made me want to experience more of it. Like, there's few games, I think, that have made me sadder or more bittersweet to have beaten the game than this one. Because I knew, that was it, you know? Like, I couldn't play more of this game. And I just loved it, you know? It's the atmosphere, the vibes, everything. The music's amazing. Definitely go check this one out. I think it's on iPhone and Android, I'm pretty sure. I played it on Android personally, but I don't see why it wouldn't be on iPhone. It's like $5, no microtransactions, no anything, you know? I think you could pay a little more to support the game, which I did, because I just love this game. And I want them to make more mobile games just like this. And I'm very, very excited for the next game in the series, which I hope there will be, or at least the next game from the company, which I believe is called Signoco, Signoco. I'm pretty sure, but you could just look the game up. I recommend it, wholeheartedly recommend this game. Everyone has a phone anyway. Just go play it. Transformers Decepticons. Now there's also the Autobots, which is a cool game, but I was a Decepticons kind of kid. You know, I was on that dark side. You know, I rolled with the bad boys. You know, I was a Decepticon. My boy Starscream. My Xbox name is still Blackout, with some other stuff too, of course. But after the Transformer from the first movie, and this is one of those movie games, which I'm realizing there's a lot of movie games on here, which like most people like, they're just movie games, like they're movie tie-in games. Who wants to play those? I want to play those. Okay, these are my kind of games. They made these games for me. Playing the story mode so many different times on my DS, so many different times. I beat. I had to. I remember my cousin could not beat the Autobots, right? And we were at either a baby shower. I think it was a wedding. It was one of those, like a family thing. And I had to go on their DS and beat Autobots. And I myself, I beat Decepticons like 5 times. You know, like I was so good at this game for whatever reason. And playing the multiplayer with all of them, like, it was just a great time. Like, don't sleep on the movie tie-in games. Just don't sleep on them. But always go to Decepticons, of course. Naruto Clash of Ninja 2. Now, I had a ton of Naruto fighting games I could have put on here. Ultimate Ninja 3 on the PS2. I honestly, all the Ultimate Ninja ones, but specifically 3. Naruto Clash of Ninja Revolution games, like all those different things. But I wanted to pick one. And I decided that 2 was the way to go. I had it on the GameCube. And to me, it's once again that this childlike wonderment of unlocking characters. I loved it. And there wasn't that much surprise. Like, I grew up with Naruto. I know Naruto, you know? Like, it's even like, I have Naruto GameCube games. I had, like, Uzumaki Chronicles. Like, I could have put so many different Naruto games on here. I know Naruto. It's the one show that I, like, mainly grew up with. But even then, I was still shocked. I still had that wonderment. And just the gameplay is really fun, and it's just one of my favorite fighting games, you know? I love the Naruto fighting games. And just, I remember you could, like, go to the store and, like, you get money and, like, you buy more characters. And it's just, like, even now, I feel that, like, that physical feeling in my chest just thinking about it. It's just awesome. The Stanley Parable. I almost didn't put this one on because I forgot about it. But I cannot forget about my boy Stanley. Play this game. I don't even really want to, like, say too much about this game because I just want you to experience this game. Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of experience. Like, you have not experienced a single thing that is like the Stanley Parable. Like, you've probably played or watched or whatever, like, meta media. Like, things that get, like, really, like, the fourth wall doesn't exist. Gets super meta. But it doesn't do it like the Stanley Parable. It just doesn't. And the story itself is just so thought-provoking, and I think it's very emotional. And it only becomes that once you piece everything together. And the journey to do that with, like, 10 different endings or something, it's just a wild ride, honestly. And one of my greatest disappointments in life is that Matt Pat never made a theory on the Stanley Parable. Unless I'm just stupid and couldn't find it. But to my knowledge, he played it on GT Live and didn't make a theory. And I just don't understand how. And that's just disappointing to me. But go play it, definitely. I think there's the same guy made a different game. I got to play that one, too. I probably would be on this list if I did. Let me get a drink. Now, I hate Assassin's Creed now. I think it's a terrible series. But prior to, like, 3... Actually, prior to... There was Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood. And then I think Revelations or something. I'm not even sure. Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood, classics. Wearing Altair's, like, suit or, like, costume, whatever, from the first game. Wearing that into... You have, like, the whole main plot, and it's just so fun. It's Assassin's Creed 2, man. Like, what else do you want me to say, honestly? Shrek 2. I told you it'd be here, and I am going to make a video on Shrek 2. It is a movie that I have seen no less than 70 times, probably upwards of 100. I am known for quoting the movie. I can quote the entire movie, and I remember senior year of high school, I used to piss every single person off because I would quote the movie every single time we watched it. And we watched that movie a lot. I actually haven't seen it in a few years. It's really upsetting. But, actually, never mind. I watched it like a year ago. I don't know what I'm talking about. It all just blends together. Like Shrek 2 to me has just become like another one of those like ethereal experiences where like it transcends like time and space, and it's not like a one instance where I could watch it or like a few instances. It's just like it's a concept now. Like Shrek 2 is an existence that like I live with kind of thing. And the game's a classic. I mean, I remember we could never beat the dragon flying level. We just could not beat it for the life of us. And every single time we played it, and we played it more than once, we'd always have to call my mom in to beat the level. And I don't know why she was able to do it and we weren't. We played video games all the time. Like, I was a gamer. I'm not even a gamer anymore, but back then, I was a gamer. I couldn't beat it, though. I was also, like, 10, but, like, she never played games. How did she beat it? I don't know. But even despite that, we persevered. We asked her for help, and we made it past. And just so many different times playing this game. The Fiona sequence where you're like singing to the bird, and if like I think it blows up if you screw up, classic. I think you're like Gingy, and you're running away from the giant tomato in like that mini game, classic. Or speaking of their mini game, playing Gingy again, you're like hopping from like pastry to pastry in like the lake or whatever, and every time you fall in, he says life would be better if I was a brownie. I still use that phrase today, all of the time, unironically. Shrek 2, man. Also, when you're in Far, Far Away, like the bank level, and it was like, you got to get the gemstones, and it's like that big like monster chasing you. Classic. It's just a classic. Play the game. I got to play this game again very soon, for sure. Halo Reach. Halo Reach. What am I gonna do with you? I love this game, and for sure I thought top 15. It was my second favorite Halo for a long, long time, but then I went back and played the campaign, and I did not have a good time. And a lot of these games, like, oh, I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter, like, oh, if you have a good time going back to it, it's the experience. And I get that. But when you get to like top 25, it becomes a very, very tight race, you know? And it's in top 25. Like, it's enough of a memory to get there. But just going back and playing it really just soured it for me. And what I like the most about this game is the multiplayer. Going on Forge World, playing Lava Pit, like all the custom games. But like, I already had a way better experience doing that in Halo 3, which is much higher on this list, spoiler alert. So it's like, the things I like about Halo Reach are like a cheap imitation of Halo 3. And it doesn't have nearly the campaign that Halo 3 does. So it dropped down. It's not even my second favorite Halo anymore, you know? Like, that's further up too. I don't know. It is pretty sad to see Halo Reach here. I loved it for so long, and I still do. It's just, I can't put it higher than this. I just can't. I don't know. Oh, Jesus. Catherine Fullbody. Now we have a... You know, it's crazy. I think every, like, game on here has been an old game. This is, like, one of the only newer ones. Even then, the original is, like, from, like, 2010. I haven't played a lot of Atlas games. I've only played 2, I'm pretty sure. This is one of them. It's also the only one I've ever beaten. And it's just a really great game. The gameplay itself is very frustrating, but I think in a good way where like I'm gonna keep trying to do it. Like I'm not just gonna like skip it or like change the difficulty or anything. I'm gonna keep trying to get it, you know? It was never like too difficult, but like it was a very big challenge for me. But I think the story and the story of Vincent is just, it's a very adult story, and I think when it comes to media in general, it's kind of hard to find like adult stories, you know? Like even like shows made for adults, I don't think they're very mature. Not that that's like a bad thing. Like, you know, most of my favorite shows are anime, cartoons, or whatever. Not saying that anime isn't mature. It actually more so is than most other like TV out there. But Catherine Full Body to me, it was a very realistic take on the mature aspect, and I just loved Vincent as a character, not as a person, of course. He's a pretty shitty person, but that's what makes him interesting as a character. You know, I think I said in my Arcane video, I'm pretty sure it was that video. Don't quote me on that. Uh, it's not a writing flaw, it's a character flaw, and you need those, you know. And even so, he's sympathetic, and the plight that he goes through, no matter how shitty he is during that journey, it is still very compelling and very mature. So definitely deserves to be on here. The ending I got was shit, so 23. So I have two here. So Rampage Total Destruction on the GameCube. It's just one of those games, you know. The intro with, like, I think he drinks. It's like a commercial, and he drinks the energy drink, something like that. That is ingrained in my memory forever. Like I said, I will be 90 years old, not even 80, 90 years old, and I'm gonna remember that. You know, that is something I'm never gonna forget. And just playing countless hours of this game, going around buildings, destroying things, all of that, I'll remember for a long time. And it just means so much to me, this game. I'm surprised it wasn't higher up, honestly, but I don't know. I just got to go back and play it, but maybe. Because if I don't like it, I'm going to be really sad. But maybe I should just leave it as a memory. I don't know. It just means so much to me. And then I have Warcraft. I just thought of this right before making this video. It has to be on here. There's so many different games to think about from, like, my childhood, from recent everything, that, like, I knew one or two were gonna slip through the cracks. Warcraft was almost one of them. Not World of Warcraft, regular Warcraft. And I used to not play it. Similar to The Sims 4, I used to watch one of my best friends at the time, when we were, like, 8, 9, or whatever. We would be in his parents', like, living room, I think it was, and the brown rug floor, the spacious room, but really shitty couches, the smell of cigarettes staining everything. Every time I go in a casino and, like, go in, like, the smoking room, like, I don't smell cigarettes anymore. I smell Warcraft. Like, that to me means something. And it was just so fun watching him play this game, and just, like, playing it myself a little bit, and it's just another memory for me, you know? The smell of Warcraft. Speaking of watching games, this is another one. I absolutely loathe playing this game. I find it so boring to play. But watching it, a different story. I used to make my brother sit down at the GameCube and play the game for hours, because I just wanted to watch him play it, you know? It's like you watch YouTubers play games you're never going to play, and, like, if you played them, it's like you probably wouldn't even like them as much, you know? This is one of those games for me. I think it's a pretty obscure Pokemon game. I'm not really sure if, like, anyone's heard about it, but my GameCube was the Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness GameCube. It was, like, a limited edition GameCube. And it came with the game, obviously. So this is one of my favorite games, but even more so, one of my earliest games. Like, the GameCube is my favorite system of all time. And it was, like, the first one that, like, was my own system. Like, I played PlayStation 1 games, even older than that. My dad has a lot of different game systems, but, like, the GameCube was mine. And Gale of Darkness was my first game on it. And I think it's, like, this is the epitome of just a cherished memory and a cherished game that if I went back and played it, I didn't even like playing at the time, but I probably wouldn't even want to watch the game, you know? But I cherish it so much. And I still have that GameCube. I got to hook it up. I have, like, a whole, like, area I'm trying to set up in my office of, like, old systems. The GameCube's right there. I just don't have the cords. But I still have this game. And I plan on booting it up and maybe hating it. But I don't care. It's never gonna soil the experiences I had with this classic. The only Pokemon game on the list. I probably should have put Mystery Dungeon, but who cares? I did not. Saints Row the Third. This is the best. Whatever you want, like a sandbox game, I think, that I've ever played. I think a lot better than GTA. I haven't played too much GTA, but like Saints Row the Third was like the game that I played, and it's such a fun combination of like you have the gritty, like more realistic GTA, but like it also acknowledges that like these games are just stupid. They're just stupid fun, and like it just gives you like stupid weapons, like the giant purple dildo, or like the cars, like the DLC cars with like the cat, like sports car with like the machine gun on top, or like my favorite gun is like the squid gun where it sticks to things and like blows up. Like this is why I come to these games. Like the realistic things, yeah, that's fun, but Saints Row is the perfect blend of realistic and just balls to the wall stupid. I love that about this game. I just love it. And it would be higher if it had a good multiplayer, but it just doesn't. It has the like the co-op. You can only play with one other person, not even four. If you could play with four people, it's like top 10 probably, honestly. Like, not even just the memories, but I could go back and play this right now. I would have the best time with it. But, like, it's always more fun playing with friends or with other people. So, I don't even think it has, like, local play either. I think it has to be online. And that's the one thing I give GTA 5 credit for is, like, the GTA Online is really, really good. It's the only reason why... I didn't even play the story mode. It's the only reason why, like, it made honorable mentions, you know? But Saints Row the Third, I got to give it the very high edge. I love this game. It's so fun. Lego Star Wars. We're talking about fun. This is the fun boiled down to its essential elements. That's it. Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. We all know about Wii Sports. I don't have to say a single thing about that. We know. We all know. But Wii Sports Resort is one of the most slept-on games I have ever experienced, and I will not let that slide. There's some fun stuff in there. When you like go up the mountain with like the sword thing, like knock people off. Classic. But more than anything, the wakeboarding is so fun, and I am so unbelievably good at it for no reason. Such a slept-on game. So I had to put both. I had to, even if it's kind of cheating. This one shocked me, and when I was making this list, I finally decided that COD World at War was not my favorite Call of Duty. And for the longest time, like, oh yeah, it's my favorite COD. It's World at War. You know, it's World at War. It's the best COD. And then I had to come to terms with I don't think that anymore. I just don't. It still has the best story mode. Easily. The story mode is insane. The multiplayer is amazing. You can't go back now. It's just full of modders. I remember I was playing like 4 years after the game came out. Like it was just unplayable. But I decided to play with my one friend Andrew, and we were just playing on the one map. And there was people flying around like just killing everybody. You know, like 5 people. And we went into a building. And I started shooting at this guy. His back was turned to me. He was crouched. I started shooting at him. He wasn't taking damage. He wasn't dying. I was like, oh shit. He just slowly, and I mean so slowly, turns around and just stares at me. And I just start screaming at them I'm like, Andrew, run! And this guy just flies out the thing after killing me. Such a fun time. But the only mark that really I don't like about this game as much, and it hurts me to say because it's the one that started it, I don't like the zombies that much. I like the gameplay, but the maps, I like Noct. That's about it. I don't like Deriz. Very, very hot take. I don't like it. Now, Black Ops 3, the Giant, I love that map, and I don't know why. I like it more, but I just do. But the zombies, for me, it takes it down a peg. And there's two other CODs that just rose to the ranks, I guess. But it was very, very shocking to me that it was no longer my favorite COD, and it was really sad. Especially because I kept losing this game when I was a kid, and I own 5 copies of it now. So I clearly like it a lot. We're almost at top 15. Oh my god. I just want to say, if you're this far into the video, obviously you're a real fan of the channel, a true fan. And once again, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I thought this would be a fun way, a fun thank you, going through these memories of mine and all this stuff. And I just really do appreciate it. It is something that I haven't always wanted, but in a way I always have wanted it, because I always wanted an audience, someone to view my work, because I've always made work. I've always written. Not always, now when I was like, 2, but I always had ideas, even as a kid. Even if I didn't write them down, there's so much ideas going around in there. And like in middle school, I started writing them down and all this stuff, and it just kept getting better and better. And there's times where I didn't write at all. And there was times that I wrote rap lyrics at one point in high school. There's an Instagram page out there. I hope no one ever finds it. But like, I always just wanted an audience to view this stuff. And I finally have that. And thank you. I just appreciate that. So, we're almost top 15. Sims 2. The ways in which you could purposely break this game. I love it. I mean, I don't love EA now. But back then, like, they let that happen. They put cheat codes in the game. I think a lot of game developers are like, they design a game and they decide how you have to play it. And I understand why. I really do. But a game like The Sims 2, where there's already so much freedom, allowing someone to just break the game, it's almost like a necessity. Like, I didn't play The Sims 2 like you were supposed to. I never did. Like, we used to make levitating houses. If you know the trick, you know the trick. We used to, buy the most expensive mansion with mother load. Like, you go on the empty plot, the cheapest, the smallest plot in the neighborhood. You use mother load like 7 times. You buy the most expensive mansion, and you kill off the family that lives there. Everyone knows to do that. Like, everyone knows that. I hope everyone knows that, or else I'm just a psychopath. But, like, you could just break this game, and it was so fun to do that. Making people vampires. Like, I remember I used to have a book, like a manual, like 1,000 pages thick of cheat codes. There's so many different books like that, and The Sims 2 had so many different things in there. And just like finding new ones, like making people really tall, or all like werewolves, or like all that different stuff, or like I think you could like you can find like items that like did special things, like you got all those with cheat codes and like all that different stuff. Even buying the different packs, like pets and like things like that. I bought pets. I don't think I ever had a pet in the game. But I don't regret that purchase. It was one of the first PC games I ever had. I almost put Webkinz on this list because it's actually up there too. You know what? We'll put Webkinz. Honorable mention, Webkinz. There we go. But yeah, it's Sims 2. I think it's the best Sims, and The Sims it can be such a fun game. Such a fun game. Now, top 15. What's going to be up here? I don't even remember what's up here, okay? I mean, this is top 15 we're talking about. This is what the list was originally supposed to be. But you can see why I made a top 50. Like, there's so many games I have to talk about, I couldn't leave off the list. But this is like the real deal right here. Super Mario 64. I said earlier about... which game? I don't even remember which game it was. Lego Star Wars. That was fun boiled down to its essential elements. This is the nuclear fission. Yes, the nuclear fission of fun. It is observing what fun even is, what a video game even is, like dissecting it, deconstructing it, tearing it apart, and building something special with those parts. That is Super Mario 64. I don't have to tell you how special, how monumental, how game changing this one platformer was, but it still is to this day. They have not yet recreated this game. They just haven't. And I didn't even play it on the N64. I played it on my DS. I had all those mini games. I was able to play as Wario, as Luigi. I remember like the stylus, you had like draw like the lines and like thing would bounce up. Like there's so many fun mini games, playing cards, so many different things they added to that game. But just the core game itself, that's a gaming experience. It is my favorite platformer ever. And it's starting off the top 15. So let's see what comes after. Turok Evolution. I played this game when I probably got when I was 6, 7 on the GameCube. I should not have been playing this game, but I'm very, very glad I did. We've been talking a lot about sequences or openings that will be ingrained in my mind forever. The opening to this game will never leave. The tomahawk being thrown at the monster, his head exploding, it was just brutal. It was absolutely brutal. I loved it as a kid. I love it now. Playing this game, this is memories. This is the essence of my memories. This is one of the centerpieces of those, for sure. My dad actually used to play this one with us, and he was just terrible at it. You know, not terrible. He wasn't bad at it, but like it'd always be like a challenge, like who's gonna beat who? Because I was 6, 7, 8, whatever. I wasn't that good at games, you know. But it was like a who's gonna beat who? My brother, my dad. I remember my uncle played. We got him to play. My dad's brother, and he did not know how to aim, so he was just like looking up at the ceiling with his gun, or like the sky with his gun the whole time. And we're like, Uncle Paul, come on, this is how you play. You can't do it like this. And he just had no idea what the fuck he was doing. And it was just so funny. It was the best thing ever. It was the best thing ever. And I remember there was a map where there was like little dinosaurs running around that would kill you. And me and my brother, role playing once again, we wouldn't even fight each other. We would just like sit on a rock and just kill these dinosaurs, you know? And we each had a character. I forgot the names, obviously, but like I was some like demon thing. I think he was some like ninja assassin thing or whatever, some samurai shit. I don't really know. But we play these characters and like role play. And there was a level, it was like a giant sand level with like abandoned ships. And we would just like walk around as these characters. And we would invent a story. And I think that's what video games and media, books, movies, whatever, I think that's what it should be about. Engaging with your imagination. Helping you create the story. That's what this game did for us. Which is just a really weird game, I think, to be the one to do that for me. But it was. It just... I think it just happened to be. Like, there was nothing too special about the game itself. Like, yeah, it was a brutal game, but like... You know, we love the map design, but I wouldn't say it's anything special now, but that was the game. This is the game that we played. And I remember I could never beat the first level because I was petrified and still am of swimming in video games. And you had to swim for like a very short period of time. And I didn't learn to swim till I was 12, so maybe that was why. If you watch my lily pad video, maybe that has something to do with it too. But I couldn't do it. And I even had my brother do it, and like, you know, he was able to do it. But then you get past that and you have to climb a mountain. And if you fall off the mountain, your body explodes. And that's when I discovered or found out that if you fall off a mountain, you wouldn't die from the impact. You would die because you had a heart attack. Like that's what it was simulating in the game. And I still remember that little I guess not guaranteed, but I remember that tidbit even now. Like, just things like that. And my dad put cheat codes in the game and unlocked all the levels. So I remember I was able to do, like, it was like spy missions and things like that. I was able to just jump around and even, like, unlock, like, secret levels, like a zoo level or something like that, you know? It's just, this game to me is like my childhood in one game. And I understand it's strange saying that about Turok Evolution, but god damn it, we're going with it. And even that's just number 14, so we're gonna see what's higher up. Rocket League. Finally. This is the second modern game on this entire list. Rocket League. I started playing it a few years ago, and this is the one game that, like, if I'm bored, not so much anymore, but, like, especially when I was, like, in college, like, if I'm bored, I'm playing Rocket League. If I'm playing with my friends, we're probably playing Rocket League. I think I have about, like, 20 days in this game or something like that, and, like, it's just Rocket League. It's just so fun. I love the physics, and it's just that one multiplayer game that I keep coming back to. I played it not that long ago, you know? I just keep coming back to it. And it's just, like, endlessly fun. It never gets not fun. So that's one of the first modern games we have on the list. Thank God. And a lot of the games are going to get, you know, much more modern as well as we go higher up. I think that 4 of the top 5 games... You know, I don't want to spoil it. Never mind. Number 12. Okay. I lied. Turok Evolution is not the absolute essence of my childhood. That distinguished title would belong to Shadow the Hedgehog. There's a lot of Sonic games out there. Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. Sonic Mania, I've played that one. Like, I've played all those Sonics. Sonic Unleashed. No one likes that game, but Shadow the Hedgehog is the one that I've chosen. And I even like playing the multiplayer on the lava level. Me, my brother, my friends. The campaign. I remember I had my friend beat one of the levels that we couldn't beat, me and my brother, and then we kicked him out of the room. And the very asshole move when we were like 8. And he called me stupid and then started crying. I don't know why that memory means so much to me, but looking back at it now, it's just so funny to me. It's Shadow the Hedgehog. It's... I don't even know why it is so high on this list. It's just stuck with me. I don't know. Maybe it's the edginess. The opening song. Everyone loves the opening song. Come on. Like, it's a Sonic character with a gun. Like, that's just bizarre. And that's, like, the kind of shit I just loved as a kid. Like, Turok 2. Like, that kind of, like, I guess more edgy, like, quote-unquote brutal for the time kind of games. Like, it's Shadow the Hedgehog, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's here. And I'm very, very proud that it's here. And I remember I thought there was, like, a whole other campaign because I beat it, but I thought there was, like, a way to, like, go back and, like, continue when you beat Dr. Eggman. Maybe there still is. I should look that up. I don't know. But yeah, this is my childhood. Shadow the Hedgehog and Turok Evolution. What's number 11? Please say Reputation. Thank you. These two, upon thinking about it, have become my favorite Call of Duties. Firstly, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 has the best zombies. I don't care what you have to say. It's the best. Ascension, I want you to hear this. Ascension is the best zombies map ever made. The weapons are great. The gameplay in this one's great. It's every level except for Shangri-La is a banger in Call of the Dead. It's Black Ops 1. It's Black Ops 1 Zombies is my second favorite zombies experience ever. And you're going to see the first one. It's up a little higher. But it's the campaign to me it was great and I loved it, but like not campaign, multiplayer. That was like I don't think I played it enough for it to be about Black Ops 2 cuz Black Ops 2 is before Black Ops 1 for me. Like that is higher in the list. But Black Ops 1 campaign is really, really good. I don't think I played Black Ops 2 campaign. I don't remember it at all. But Black Ops 2, we played that game on 360 so goddamn much. And I realized that that's the game. You know, like that's the one that I have the most memories with and I have the most fun experiences with. And like I said before, that's what's going to mean the most to me when I'm 90. It's not going to be about the objective quality of Ascension as a map. It's going to be Black Ops 2. And the multiplayer. And the zombies, too. I mean, the, playing on town, I have the optimal strategy for town. And I don't even remember, like, any other maps. I think Transit was really kind of weird, but, like, I still kind of loved it. Even Black Ops 3 could have been on here with, like, I remember me and a group of, like, 3 other friends, we tried so hard to do the Easter egg on Shadows of Evil. We have tried so many times, and we have so many funny moments playing that thing, and we still haven't beaten it. But these two, for me, it just beats it out. I can't have, like, 3 in the same spot, you know? It's Black Ops 2. I mean, it's just... It's fun, fond memories for me. That's why it's so high up on the list. And Black Ops 1, you've played Ascension. Come on. You know why it's here. Number 10. This is the top 10 favorite video games of all time. And we have pictures. Halo 1. Now better than Halo Reach for me. This is maybe my favorite looking game ever. I love the art design. And me and my good friend, we've had a lot of arguments over Halo 1 and the Halo 1 remaster, like the new graphics. And I constantly say that Halo 1 looks better, has more visual clarity. I like the art design more. And he's like, no, if it can't, doesn't have the good graphics. And we like argue back and forth, screaming at each other. We want to make a podcast episode about that, actually. But like, Halo 1, the look of it, the campaign. God, the campaign. I remember I played on the 360. I never owned an original Xbox. But we played the original Xbox game. It just played on the 360. My dad found it in a flea market that was near our house, like a giant-ass flea market. I miss that place. It's a Walmart now. It's very, very sad. I love that place. But he found it in the flea market for like $5. Back in like 2006, 2005, 2006. It was before Halo 3 even came out. Because I bought Halo 3 when it came out that day. I think it was close to my birthday. But Halo 1. Just the campaign and the gameplay. This is what a first-person shooter should be. Like this, gameplay-wise and visually-wise, I consider this the best first-person shooter game ever made. It just is for me. It's just so many different memories with it. I don't know. I just can't get over how good the gameplay is. It's just so great, you know? And I look back at Halo 1 with such fondness. Such fondness. So, number 9. Before we get to number 9, another water break. Left 4 Dead 2. This is my favorite zombies thing of all time. Not my favorite first-person shooter, but obviously up there. This game, like Super Mario 64, it takes apart what makes a good, like, slasher kind of game, or like not a beat 'em up. Obviously, it's not that, but like the joy of just mowing down zombies. It's a very simple joy, but at the same time, it's very complex. Like, what makes that fun? And so many different games to screw it up time and time again. Like, the only, like, super great zombie game I can think of aside from this, and, like, others in the series would be, like, what is it? Dead Rising 2. That's a great game. Not top 50 worth, but great game. But Left 4 Dead 2, it just, it knows how to make a good zombies game. I mean, Valve knows what they're doing. And the studio that, like, actually, I forgot the studio that actually developed it, but, like, I think Valve produced it. But, like, they know how to make a goddamn game. And Left 4 Dead 2, just going over the bridge with, like, the machete and just slaying down zombies, or the concert level, like, mowing them down on stage. There's nothing like it. Like, this is how you make a zombie game, zombie media, first-person shooter, game in general. This is how you make it fun. And a game being fun is the most important thing. Left 4 Dead 2. I go back to this game even now. Such a good, solid game. Persona 5 Royal specifically. Now, I will be honest. I have not beaten this game. I have about 90 hours in the game. I probably got like 30 more to go. But even so, to imagine I would spend 90 hours on a game, I like not a multiplayer game, like one story, 90 hours, and still not be sick of it. I just couldn't imagine it. And I actually haven't touched this game in like low-key like a year because I've been super busy, but like it's just a game I could just like I snap back right into and just start playing it again, you know? And I remember I watched John Awesome. I think it's Johnny Awesome. I watched his playthrough of regular Persona 5, and I watched that until like 80 hours into the game, something like that, right? And that was like every single night what I was doing. I wasn't playing the game, I was watching his playthrough. You know, right before bed. Like three 40-minute episodes, like right before bed. And even so, when Royal came out, I'm like, I'm gonna get it. And even though I had pretty much experienced like the majority of the story, going back through it was such a fun time because there's so many different ways that like you can play the game differently. And just the sheer amount of content in a single game, it's honestly mind-blowing that a game like Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal can even exist. And like stretching a story out to 90 hours. Thought I heard something. Stretching a game out to 90 hours of like actual gameplay. Like you actively have to be involved with the game and the story. To be able to do that, and for it not to get like boring or feel tired or just feel like stretched out. Like it never does at any point, I don't think, personally. Like it has its flaws, but like it's just insane to me as a story writer myself. It is a accomplishment. It is a marvel of video gaming history is what Persona 5 is. And I cannot wait to beat it. And when I do, it might be top 5, I don't know. It'd be hard to move up the list to be quite honest, but like it definitely could. It definitely could. Such a great game. Such a great game. And I don't even like turn-based combat. Like, I don't like Pokemon. And I don't like a lot of those other games. But Persona 5 makes it so fun. And there's so many, like, I don't even like simulator games that much. Like, it's not really an open world game, but it kind of is. I don't like open world games that much. But Persona 5 Royal does everything I don't really like and makes it great. And the ways in which it does that is so complex. It's so simple. Like, it is worth studying. It is a game worth studying. Also, Makoto Best Girl. Okay. Number 7, Life is Strange. This is in my top 5 for a long time. But sadly, it is not in that anymore. This game is kind of cheesy. If you've played the game, you know the dialogue is so Tumblr-esque. It's what, they thought teenagers talked like in like 2015. And even so, this is the one game I'm giving it a pass. I not even just giving it a pass. I love that about the game. It's so heartfelt. I think is the best way to describe it. Like the story has flaws, like it has lows, but so many highs. And there's some of the choices you have to make in this game. Like you can feel the weight, the emotion. And it just has heart. I feel it's like some sort of connection to this game. And a lot of that is the music. This is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, is this game. And it connects with you. The characters, their perils, the story, everything. The mechanics are fun. It's not the most engaging game ever, but like the choices are, but not the gameplay itself. But even then, it makes it fun either way. It's just, I think the best compliment I could give this game is that when I beat it, after spending an hour trying to make the final decision, which I won't spoil obviously, but I sat back and I just said, wow, life is strange. And that's what this is. It's a game about life. That's the best compliment I could give this game. I also have yet to play the prequel, the second one, and the third one. Don't talk about it. Undertale. This one was top 5 until yesterday. I had to move one up and this one down. But, we're talking about heart and emotion in video games. It's Undertale. Also, I've turned my heater on because it is very cold. I didn't want to have it on because it's kind of noisy, but I am literally going to freeze to death in here. And it's kind of making it hard to talk, so I just turned it on. But Undertale. This is what emotion is. This is what heart is. Like Life is Strange. And for one person and a few others that helped out to be able to accomplish that in 4 hours or like 3 hours, no less, it's amazing. It is simply amazing. I have never cared about characters more in such a short time than this game. Like when I killed Toriel, I accidentally killed her in the beginning. I wanted to fucking cry. I don't cry very much. I mean, I cry sometimes with like games and like... Not really games, actually. To be honest, I think this is the only game that has made me cry. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anime makes you cry more often. But, like, I went back before I killed her, and I pacified her. And then Flowey knew what I did. And it's a game about sometimes you can't go back, or sometimes... I think it's a game about choices, and it's about making it the choice for life. The choice for compassion. That's what this game is. I want to make a video on it. Its own separate video. All these tops are going to get... Either they have their own video or are going to be getting one. But to me, it is a kind of RPG. And also, the funniest game I've ever played in my entire life, it kind of doesn't come close. So, also the soundtrack is it is my favorite soundtrack of all time in anything ever. The one song, Waterfall, or Snowden, or Snowtown, or whatever, Snowden, it makes you feel, like you can feel the world itself, the underground, crying. Like, you can feel the hope and the joy, but also on the flip side, the sadness and the despair and the grief of everyone there. And it makes the world become its own character. And specifically within Waterfall, you can hear that character's emotions. And there's a part of a song you hear crying out. And it's sad and it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful game. It's Undertale. I mean, we all know about Undertale. And I really should have made a Deltarune Chapter 2 video when it was like more relevant. I probably still will eventually. I haven't played it though, and I just got to do that. But Undertale video coming. I have a lot more to say then, but that's number 6. So I want you to think back on this video and think back on what we talked about. And that feeling of child wonderment once again of a new character. I want you to think back. And you feel that emotion, and when you look at this picture, all of that emotion should be pouring out. It does for me. Trying to find secret characters in Super Smash Bros. Melee was some of the craziest shit I've ever done. Some of the most fun I've ever had on the internet. And if you were to tell me that Sonic the Hedgehog was... regular characters, that's fun enough, but a secret character? If you were to tell me that Sonic the Hedgehog was a secret character, that's automatically my favorite game of all time. Automatically. At least for that time. And that's what I miss the most about newer games, I think, is that sense of like breaking the game or finding things that you're really not supposed to find. I like playing as, like in Melee, playing as Master Hand in Melee. You can do it if you've never done it. It's so just surreal, like ethereal experience. Once again, I just can't say enough about it. It's such a like. It's a feeling I can't even put into words how it makes me feel. Even just this one image. But of course, we are talking about all 3. Because I could not pick. I just couldn't. Melee to me it was my first Smash game. And that to me has the best gameplay. Or it always had the best gameplay. It was fast, fluid, just a marvel of a game. My favorite fighting game, obviously. And then Brawl came around, and I think 2007, 2008. And I remember I sent my mom to the midnight release, because they used to do those at GameStop. I think they might still do those, I'm not sure. But you used to have to like 10 out sometimes. Like get there like super, like 12, for like a 7 a.m. release or something like that. To get the game when it first came out. And I had her do that. And that game had so many different characters. Like that had the roster. So you had Melee with the gameplay and Brawl with the roster. And I for the longest time I could never choose between those two, because like they were like two examples of what made Smash so great. Like they were the two best examples of it. And even Brawl had like the story mode. Like playing that with my brother was so fun. It was just so fun. It took us so long, and going back to like basically the whole campaign in like the Shadow Realm, whatever the fuck it was, like that was so fun too. And even Melee had its like adventure mode, and like that was like just so cool. It was such a cool experience, and now looking back on it, it's so surreal to me. Like experiencing that. Like that old classic kind of game. And I'm like, these are two of my favorite games of all time, but they're just tied. I can't choose because they each have the one thing that I'm looking for. I'm looking for two things. Gameplay and cast. And they each have that. And Brawl had Meta Knight and Sonic. It had Sonic the Hedgehog in the game. Melee had Mew too, to be fair. But like, they had Sonic. They didn't have Poke Floats, so deduct some points for that, but... And then, I didn't play Smash 4. I've played it, it's Smash 4. And then Ultimate came around. And I remember I had not bought a Wii U and it was the first Nintendo system since the GameCube that I hadn't owned. I just never bought it. I was busy with 360, whatever. I just hadn't really got around to it. I didn't really play Smash 4 growing up. But I bought the Switch specifically for Ultimate, and I still barely touched that thing. Ever. I played Undertale on it, to be fair, but like aside from that, it's not even like a long game. I played Ultimate. And playing the story mode for 30 hours, I realized this is the best Smash game. It is. I can't necessarily... At first, I just had Smash Ultimate, and like, I wasn't even going to put Melee and Brawl on the list, because, like, okay, it's Smash Ultimate represent them. I can't do that, though. I can't do it, because Melee and Brawl were like, you know, like Turok, like Super Mario 64, the other one that I'm forgetting. They were such a foundation for my childhood. I can't not have them on the list. And I love Ultimate so much because it's a combination of both. It has the speedy, fluid gameplay of Melee, but the cast is like 100 people now, you know? And I think it was underappreciated by a lot of people, the work of Masahiro Sakurai. And just, you don't realize how much passion and how much sheer work goes into a game like that, but it does. And it's the greatest collaboration ever made. It's better than the Avengers. I mean, I hate Avengers Endgame anyway, but like, it's Smash Brothers. It is video games in a single game. It is about what makes video games great. It's about the history of them. Everything. What makes them fun. That is what Smash is to me. And Ultimate became the embodiment of that, I think. And even past all of that, I remember I had my Switch. I got it, I think, sophomore year of college. Yeah, sophomore year of college. And my whole floor, I was in a dorm on the 3rd floor. And like 10 of us all lived on the same floor right next to each other. And we would all go in my friend Obi's room. And we would just play Smash. Like, my Switch wasn't even in my room. It was in his room. Because we would play Smash for like 2 hours every single night. Every night for the whole year. And even like junior year and senior year, like, we all would get back together again. We were playing Smash, you know? And even something like Brawl. Or even Ultimate now, like one of my friends groups, like, that's what we play too. It was like, oh, we'll all go to my house and play some Smash, you know? And just being able to get a big group together. And it's like, oh, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to play Smash. We can play Smash. Just doing that, to me, that is what video games should be. It's bringing people together, making people mad. You know, it's the one you have that one group of people in the corner playing Smash at the party. You know, like, that is what video gaming is to me. And just the experiences I had with Melee, Brawl, the culmination into Ultimate, like, it's called Ultimate. The story that goes into those games, watch MatPat's videos on them, they're amazing. And that experience at college of just every single night. I probably have like 300, 400 hours in the game. Like, they would even play without me. Just doing that. It was just amazing, you know? It was just... That, to me, made living in the dorms and going to college and all that stuff, I mean, it's so much better. I mean, it's so much more fun. And I miss a lot of things from college, but this is definitely one of the biggest ones, so... That, to me... Honestly, even, like, these games might even mean the most to me on this entire list. I'm not even sure. But this is what top 5... This is what top 5 is made of, baby. These kind of games. But what can beat Smash Bros. Ultimate? Well... It's Halo 3. Halo 3. My favorite first-person shooter. Not gameplay-wise. Like, Halo 1, I actually like the gameplay a tiny bit more. But Halo 3, to me, is everything a first-person shooter should be. The campaign itself is so sprawling. It's massive, not in like length perhaps, but just like reach, like vastness, expanse. I'm trying to think of the word and I can't, but like scope. That's the word. Scope. It's just it is a journey. That's what I can tell you about the campaign. It is a journey. It is an adventure. Dare I say it? It is a campaign. That's what it is. Such a good goddamn game. And the amount of memories I have playing multiplayer. I mean, playing teacher on Classroom. Playing like there's like a sniper thing. Like Fat Boy on whatever it was called. Like playing the custom games with my brother, my two cousins. Like me and my brother shared an Xbox, they were sharing an Xbox, like split screen, like playing together, you know, on Xbox Live. It just that's gaming. Like Smash Ultimate for me, like Halo 3, this is gaming to me. And Forge is so fun in this game. Such a creative thing to do is Forge. Like you can make your own map and like, you know, on some maps a little, you know, more variety, but like even the ones where there wasn't that much variety, like role playing, like again, and like it's Halo 3, man. The Secret Crystal Armor, there's a YouTube video, look it up. That plays like the Requiem for a Dream song and it's about Bill Gates. And I thought it was, as a kid, I thought it was real. Gears of Halo Theft Auto 5 and like other machinima things. Red versus Blue, like when it was in like season 6 and it was getting so hype. And they had the animation. I think Monty was working on it. It's Halo 3. I mean, it's Halo 3. This is a video game, you know? It's Halo 3. It is one of my most cherished things. Memories, experiences, possessions is Halo 3. Just the times I spent on that game. Even now, like playing through the campaign again, it is just as good, even better. The joy of getting a vehicle in multiplayer, like the joy of hijacking the Banshee in campaign or hijacking the Banshee in multiplayer on Sandtrap. That's gaming. Using the Spartan laser, my best weapon. This is what gaming is to me. Halo 3. It used to be number 2. I actually bumped it on a tiny bit, but actually it was number 1 for a little bit too. But it's now number 4. So you know how good the games before are, or after it. But it's Halo 3, man. I'm gonna keep saying it, but I can't say it enough. It is Halo goddamn 3. This is gaming. Xbox gaming. But what beats it? Doki Doki Literature Club. I say all that shit about Halo 3, how it's gaming. And then I put a visual novel over it. That's what we do around here. Doki Doki Literature Club. If you haven't watched my video on it, go watch it right after this. It is my... To me, it's my most important video. It is my favorite video I've ever made. And I think it will be for a long time. And it's mainly about... It's really just about Monica. And she has quickly become my favorite video game character of all time. And at one point, you know, watching like the MatPat like game theories on this were like such a... Even, you know, I was in college when I played this, you know? But watching those videos was like so cool. Like it was so new. Like the world of anime to me, I grew up with it in one part, but like I got out of it. But like getting back into this, like visual novels, stuff like that, like it was so new, you know? Getting really back into video games. Like this is the game that got me back into playing video games that weren't just multiplayer games, like story-driven games. And like most of my top 5, top 10 are story-driven games. This is the one that got me back into it. And I remember playing this game so vividly. It was freshman year, and my brother picked me up from college. Like, helped me move out, for the winter break. And he played the soundtrack to a game. And I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like, what? He's like, it's Doki Doki Literature. I'm like, that sounds fucking stupid. Like, why are you playing this in the car right now? And he's like, just listen. And he plays like the main theme. I'm like, this is kind of a bang. I'm not gonna lie. And he's like, do you want to play the game? Like, I mean, sure, yeah, why not? And we played it on a shitty PC that was in the office. And I just fell in love with these characters. Natsuki. We used to call her Natsuki. Maybe that's actually how you pronounce it. I think it's called Natsuki, though. No, it's Natsuki. But, like, she was my favorite, and I went down her route. And I remember... This is quick spoilers for Doki Doki Literature Club, if you haven't played it. Like, first half spoilers. But, when the decision came to say I love you to Sayori, or my dearest friend, I left the house. I have never been so distraught over a decision. Not even Life is Strange made me that distraught. Little did I know it didn't really matter, to be honest, but, like, I didn't know what to say, And that memory of just leaving the house, being so upset by the game, and that was the first half of the game. Like, just falling in love with these characters. And I think with DDLC... I think it's supposed to be like a parody, not a parody, but like, it's like kind of making fun of visual novels, like the typical romance visual novels. And I don't think it does a good job of that, because the writing is so goddamn good that, like, it's just a great story. Like, you could not have the entire second half of the game, and it's probably still top 20 for me, honestly. Like, I love the first half. I don't think it's a slow game to get into. I don't think you got to play 2 hours to really play the real game. The first half to me is still the real game. And then the second half happens. And I have so many things to say. So many more things to say that I'm going to say in more videos about the second half of Doki Doki Literature Club. But I think when it came to a point where, like, with all, like, the hidden stuff in the game and, like, the map hat videos, it was like, oh, it's just like it's like a commercial. This game is a commercial. I thought that for a little bit of time, after loving it for, like, a few months, and then I went back, and I thought about Monica, and thinking about her experience in the game, and realizing that at that point in my life, like sophomore year of high school, I was going through, obviously not a one-to-one identical situation, but I was having fairly similar emotions to Monica, and she quickly became, and still is, the character I relate to the most in anything, And since she is the core of the game, obviously, like, and she became my favorite, honestly, probably my favorite character of all time. I mean, that might be Okabe Rintaro from Steins Gate, but, like, I might have to give it to Monica now. I don't know. At least my favorite video game character. I mean, I guess Okabe kind of is, but I don't even really watch the anime. It's Doki Doki Literature Club. Just go watch my Monica video, and you'll realize why it's so high up on this list, and why it is the game that, to this day, I have never related to a game more than this one. So, and I think we all, if you're a fan of the channel, you know what number 2 is. Unless you think it's number 1. But I think I've said a few times what number 1 is. Mostly community post. But you should know what number 2 is. It's Amori. I mean, I spent months putting together a video of why I love this game so much. And scarily enough, I still have more to say. I mean, I made my tier list video. I made some poems about it. And I'm actually working on another video. I've been working on it for a while. Like, it's a delayed video, but on more like the ending. And it's Amori. I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're a fan of the channel, if you're watching this far, you probably played Amori. You probably discovered my channel through Amori. It's obviously my most popular video. It has 67,000 views right now. So it's like we're like almost half my subscribers came from Izamori, but you know, it's Amori. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I spent so long talking about it and so long just with this game. And I did not cry at the end. And I think that is because, like the game above it, I didn't fully realize the weight of what was happening in that moment. And I've teared up listening to that famous duet, after the fact. But during it, I didn't understand yet how much weight was on that moment. And it's Amori, you know? If you haven't seen my video on it, which, some of you probably haven't, go watch it. I spent, like I said, I spent months making that video. I spent so long even playing the game. Like, every night I was going back and going to Headspace and escaping from my problems in a similar way to what the game portrays. And it just means so much to me, especially for the channel. I mean, it's not my favorite video I've made. It's my second favorite. But maybe it means the most to me, because that's where, most of you came from. It was the first video I made that, I'm like, okay, this is a real video. Like, obviously, it's, like, my longest video, like, scripted video. But it was, like, this is the kind of content I want to make. Amori showed me that. And, like, I remember over the summer, I was doing landscaping for my mom, like, at her house, and, like, I would listen to every single Amori analysis video that was out at the time. I have listened to every one. I would just listen to them over and over, trying to glean new information about the game to put it in my own video. And just, when I saw the trailer initially for Amori, I knew instantly that if this was not a top 5 game for me, I would be disappointed. Because it instantly clicked with me, this game, this visual style. I mean, this is my favorite looking game of all time, more so than Halo 1 even. And it instantly clicked with me. The look, the vibe, the music, the emotion, the horror aspect. Like, this is good horror. Because I could tell that it wasn't trying to scare me, it was trying to tell me a story. And that, to me, as someone who is currently creating a horror film, that's what horror is to me. And I said if it was in a top 5, I'd be disappointed. I told everyone that. And it became more than that. It became even better than I imagined it would be. And I will never, in my life, forget the journey of Sunny and Aubrey and Henry / Hero and Cal and Basil and Mari and everyone else. Every other little character in the game. Especially Hector. I will never forget that. Like, that will stay with me for probably as long as I live. Being the first game that, I played knowing I was going to make a video on it. And really taking a closer look and taking all those... a game's good when I take videos on Snapchat and send it to my friends. See, that's how you know it's good. And I made sure at the end of my Amori video, for like a little like credits, kind of sequence, to put those moments in there. Because I felt like those moments were the most important thing in the video. Like, more so than my own analysis and my own thoughts and things. Like, that in the moment was it. And I want to have like a little reel of like all the funny, tragic, horrific moments in the game. And I will never play a game like Amori ever again. And that's sad, but that's also a great thing. Because I'll never play a game like Doki Doki Literature Club again, or Halo 3 again. I'm never going to get those things back. But as you can see, I played this when I was like 7, and I played this when I was like 20, 21. So even if I can't get Halo 3 back, I'll have even a better experience, like a Mori, you know? Or, you know, even further on in my life, I'll probably play a better game, or a game I like more than a Mori. But it truly is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I just love this game. And I don't think I ever plan on stopping, talking about this game, making analysis. Like I said, I'm working on one right now, making poems. I know that's what you guys want to see anyway, mostly. So, even so, though, I want to make more in it, and even more than that, I want to take what I learned from the game. You know, the techniques utilized, the story techniques, and everything, the emotions, the characters. I want to take that, and I want to utilize that in my own stories. And I think when a game can make me want to do that, that is special. That is a very, very special moment for me, because I'm not really influenced by a lot of games, you know? So, even the film I'm working on, this is a big influence for me. A huge, huge influence for me in this film I'm making is Sunny, is Amori, the other characters. One of the biggest influences for me. And I think in my future projects, it will remain that. So, I think, I hope I've summed up, I'll turn the heater off. I hope I've summed up why this game means so much to me. I just hope I've done that. So, but there's a game that I consider even more of my favorite than Amori. And if you see my community posts, I don't know if I've talked about it in the video, but I've mentioned it multiple times, even in comments, things like that. What my favorite game of all time is. And honestly, it's probably my favorite thing of all time. Like, right now that belongs to Ava, but, like, it might be in this next game. And that's Nier Automata. I remember I watched the Wisecrack video. I lost my voice there for a second. I gotta drink of water. I watched the Wisecrack video at Nier Automata. I watched the entire thing. And it kind of spoiled the game, but, like, the angle of philosophy. And philosophy is something I'm very, very interested in. And I'm like, I'm a little spoiled, but, I'll check it out anyway. I didn't remember the video, like, all that well. I just remember I wanted to play it. And I was like, you know what? I might as well give it a shot. I'll probably like the game. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to GameStop and, like, oh, they have an Xbox? I'll go to an Xbox. Even though it's on Game Pass now, but I want to support the game, so I just buy it anyway. I bought it for, like, $40 at GameStop. Actually, no. That's not even true. I went to GameStop. They only had the physical on PS4. I wanted it physical. I had to buy it download on Xbox. So I went to GameStop. They didn't have it. Then I downloaded on Xbox $40. There we go. But I played it, obviously, and it took me like a month and a half. And I played it during the start of COVID, or lockdown or whatever. And I played in my basement. I remember the coldness of the basement, the pain of sitting in my chair for so long, my legs sitting up in the second highest drawer on my dresser. I had purple and blue lights hooked up. This was before I even had my PC. So I had like a really like shitty computer for school that couldn't even run YouTube correctly. And I just sat down and I played this game. And it was a truly life-changing experience. The characters, and it wasn't even just like the main characters, even side characters. It was like, I don't care about side quests, but this game made me do like almost all the side quests. Like almost all of them. Because they each had such a story and emotion that lended itself to like the core emotion of the game. And it's just this world that is so tragic. It is so I'm like I'm tearing up even talking about it. It is so devoid of hope and joy and any meaning you can glean from anything. It is the embodiment of a world that has no meaning. Like it is the classical nihilist outlook in a nutshell is what this world's game is. Like, each boss, I'm not going to spoil the game, but like each boss, like robot tries to find their own meaning in something else. And it's something that's so fundamental to humanity. And each boss becomes like progressively more complex and complex, like as we developed as a civilization trying to find meaning, employing these new techniques to do so. Each boss represents that. So in that way it deconstructs like the journey of humanity itself. I'm going to go back and quote this. I actually like this quote, what I just said. I'm going to go back and use that exact quote probably from a video I'm going to make on this. Obviously I'm going to make a video on this, come on. But it is that journey. And you make that journey as an android. And I'll save exactly what I think about that, but doing so makes it so much better. And even, in the gameplay, which by the way, the gameplay is so fun. It's made by Platinum. Come on, it's a good game, gameplay wise. But you have like this little robot that's like besides you, that shoots. That's all it does. It's a shooting robot, right? And you can like glide with it and things like that too. The journey the shooting robots, the weapon in the game goes through, that alone makes it a top 5 game. Just that one aspect. And how it questions, what is a human? Like, how is consciousness formed? All of that stuff. All the societal implications of those questions. That one goddamn gun in the game questions that. It postures that. It alone makes it a top 5 game. And that's not even close to the best thing about the game. It's... This is so much... There is so much to say about this game. Like, soundtrack-wise, second favorite soundtrack of all time. Very similar to Undertale. It's a lot more grand, obviously, but it... People, I think, will label it as a pretty standard anime game. Or even past that, a fantastic game, but not a life-changing game. Or a game that truly changed what the industry could be, what a video game could accomplish as a work of art. I watched a video that acknowledged that like, people don't really view Nier Automata that way. I mean, it wasn't even nominated for Best Game of that year. Mario Odyssey won that. I'm pretty sure. No. Breath of the Wild, Odyssey won that. No, Breath of the Wild won that. Odyssey was there. I think Persona 5 might have been there. Like, that was a fantastic year of gaming. Maybe one of its best. But, like, Nier Automata, I consider it the best game that come out of that year. And obviously ever. Not that I don't believe in best anything, but if I had to, this is the one. This is the best game ever made. It is monumental on the level. I'm gonna say this closer to the mic because I want to make myself very clear when I say this. Okay. Nier Automata is on the level of like monumental as Super Mario 64. What that game did to gameplay in the fun aspect of video gaming, Nier Automata does to the other half of video games, the story. It is evolutionarily a new step in storytelling in video games. It just is. And I don't think it's necessarily for everybody. Like, if you're interested in philosophy, you got to play this game. But, like, I don't think you even have to be. Because it still has the emotional, too. It's not just, like, a philosophically posturing game. It is a character-driven story. It's very similar to Arcane. It manages to do both so well. And the best thing I could say about this game is that there's so much bad in the world, our world. And I personally look around and I don't see meaning in many things. I don't believe in religion or meaning in something like, identity or clothing or, reproduction. These are all things the game analyzes specifically through the different levels in the game. I don't necessarily find meaning in those things, and that is that nihilistic outlook. But I think what people get confused about nihilism is that it ends there. And sometimes it does. Nihilism is a very broad thing that a lot of different cultures, people, societies have contributed to, have studied, whatever. But when you look at the most famous example, the Nietzsche example of nihilism, God, I hope that is the right person. I will cry if it's pointed out that it's not him, but I'm like almost certain. But that example, the best example we have of nihilism, they think it ends there, but it doesn't. There is meaning in the meaning that we make for ourselves. And I think Nier Automata takes all of those ancient texts and more modern texts from all different eras, all different centuries. It takes those that study the meaninglessness of the universe and religion and other things like that. And I think it is a piece of art that surpasses those in the ways that it portrays a sense of hopelessness that is so philosophically complex, that makes so much sense in its hopelessness. I think it surpasses those texts. And, this game directly references a ton of philosophers, a ton of texts and beliefs. And I think it portrays them even better than the original texts. And I've read many of those original texts. And I think it does it better. And not only that, but what it manages to do, without spoiling the game, obviously, it doesn't find a solution, because there is no solution. And the game recognizes that we are just humans, and we're going to flap our arms around and try to wade through this pool of existentialism and meaninglessness. We're all going to do that. So there is no solution, but there is an answer. And the ending of this game almost serves as an answer to centuries. The philosophical musings that span like the entire age of man. It takes those and it almost reaches a sort of conclusion with them. And that's insane. Like, it's insane that it reaches at least some kind of answer to those things. And the answer it reaches is so profound on so many different levels that I'm not going to get into because of spoilers. And I'm going to talk about this in a different video, obviously. But, like, it's just so complex and profound, the answer it comes up with. And it all culminates in an ending that is so engaging gameplay-wise, music-wise, emotional-wise. And again, like we've been talking about, philosophically-wise, it all culminates into one sequence. The end credits. I'm not giving more context than that. But when I played it, I didn't understand you could say, the weight of the world that was on my shoulders at that time. If you know, you know. I didn't understand. I did not cry when I should have cried because it was past that. It surpassed the need and the desire to cry because I didn't even understand it. The only thing I knew is I was watching something and experienced something that was not just special to me or to other people, but that it was a moment in time that was special to human history, to the history of philosophy and storytelling. Like, this is the definition of a monumental game, a monumental piece of art. It's more than a game. It's more than a game, even though it is such a fun game to actually play. It transcends that. And it becomes, I honestly think, something that should be studied when we talk about philosophy and history and all those different texts. I think it should be studied right alongside of them. That is what I think about this game. And this is honestly just scratching the surface. This is just me unscripted talking about these things without a plan of what to say. You know, this is the surface. It's such a special game. And I will be making my best video ever on this game. I will accept no less than my absolute best for this masterpiece of an experience. It's Nier Automata. And I haven't really... I gotta put the heater back on. I haven't really explained when I've said Nier Automata is my favorite game. I've kind of explained a little bit, but, like, I don't think I fully contextualized why. Especially because, like, I obviously love Amori so much, but that I could put this game above it. Why do I love it so much? And this is some of those reasons. But I'm trying not to get into specifics. Play this game. Just, if you ever do one thing in your life, one experience you decide you're going to go out and do, play the game. It's like 25-hour game. If you do like a lot of the side quests, you can do it shorter or longer. Play the game. Just play the game. It's Nier Automata. And when I finally played Nier Replicant, the prequel to this game, the first game in the series, it's the remastered version. I expect it to possibly be number 2. It's another one of those examples of if it's not top 5, I will be disappointed. Now, Mori and DDLC are going to be very hard to top, but we'll see. But at this current moment, Nier Automata is my favorite game of all time. And it is a game that it's weird because it seems like Yoko Taro went into my head, got everything I was thinking about, and made a game about it. Like, it feels so tailor-made to me, yet it sold like 6 million copies. It's a very popular game. And if you look at... Let's look at all these games. Legendary AAA game. Okay, legendary AAA game. Okay, I'm kind of losing my point here. AAA game. Indie game. Indie game. Yeah. Indie game. AAA game. I have said for a long time that I'm just not that interested in AAA games anymore. Because they don't have the feel, the passion, the heart that I usually get from an indie game. Nier Automata is an indie game with a AAA budget. And maybe that's the best compliment I can give it. So I will stop gushing about Nier Automata in all of these games. Because I have spent way longer than I thought I would talking about these games. I thought I was going to spend 40 minutes. It is now past 2 hours. So I really do hope that everyone has watched this far. I really do hope. And you have, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. Like I said earlier, this is something that I've always wanted. Not YouTube specifically, though I grew up with YouTube. Like, first was a thing. But having an audience. Having people that care about the things that I make. And I don't really know what the future holds. Like, I have a plan. And I plan to make so much more stuff, but plans aren't always the most followed, and things can happen. So I don't know what the future holds, but one thing I can say is that this has truly been an incredible journey, and it will continue to be an incredible journey. It will. And in my lifetime, I hope to create, I'm working on my short film now, movies, books, plays, musicals. I want to create video games. Like, if anyone's making a video game and needs some, like, script work done, like, none of the technical shit, but, like, need, like, a story, hit me up. I want to make a visual novel. I almost did once, fell through. Story got way too convoluted, but hit me up. But I want to make video games like that. I have all these different ideas. Novels, books, short stories, poetry. Like, I already have, like, a whole poetry book written. It's part of the reason why I wanted to start a YouTube channel, was, like, to have an audience to, like, kind of, like, share what that poetry with, But there's so many different things that I want to do. So many different things. And I think for a long time, for basically my entire life, I sat there and I imagined, oh, I'll be a billionaire. I'll be a millionaire. I'll be world famous. Like, the things that I make, everyone will love, And I had these dreams of grandeur all the time. I still do. But I didn't have anyone to share it with. It was all just fake, It was all just dreams is what it was. And nothing was coming of it. There was nothing to show for it. But I think now, having done this YouTube thing and having that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, which, the Mori video itself is already 4 times past that, so I think I have like 20,000 hours of watch time. The subscribers is what I really needed. But, like, having those things, it's special to me, because I'm actually making something happen. It's not just me in my room dreaming about something. I'm making it happen. And that's special. And this milestone, this 1,000 subscribers, is going to be special to me for the rest of my life. Even if I go on to hopefully win an Oscar and hopefully not, slap Chris Rock at the Oscars, but win one. And my ambitions will not stop until I am, honestly, what I would consider myself to be the best in everything that I do. I am that kind of person. I want to be the best in everything I do, and I do have high ambitions. And I will not stop until I hopefully reach those things. But even if I do somehow do it, and all those milestones along the way, this is one I think I'll cherish the most. Because this seems like the beginning of a journey not dreamed of, but a journey lived. A journey I'm actually on. I'm actually doing something. I have people that actually care about what I make. And that's kind of insane to me. It's just surreal. And it's awesome. It's just so awesome. So if you have been on this journey with me from the beginning, from the Amori video, from other videos, whatever, or if you even knew this is the first video you watched on the channel, I just want to say thank you for enjoying my content, interacting with me, dealing with my 5 community posts a day, my lack of watching ReZero Season 2. All of those things for being part of this journey. Thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. And like I said, where I go from here, I don't know. But I hope it's somewhere great. And I know that in some way, YouTube and you all will be a part of it. And that's awesome. So, in commemoration of this momentous day, this most holy of hours, this is my top 50 games, my favorite 50 games, plus like 10 honorable mentions of all time. And this list could change in 10 years from now. Maybe I'll make another one in 10 years. But to commemorate and look back at this moment in time, what were my favorites of this moment in time when I had 1,000 subscribers, this is the list. And this was really fun. And the journey will continue to be fun. So, I think after over 2 hours, thankfully I don't really have to render this, hopefully. I'll have to upload it, which will take forever. But, you know, it happens. But after all this, thank you for being part of this journey, for getting me monetized, 1,000 subscribers. And, as always, thank you for watching.